Can I tell you something? I was sitting at a table while Bill Clinton was yakking the other night. And I'm sitting at a table with a bunch of these reporters. And a guy says to me, Glenn, you know we need financial reform. I said, do I now? What, Glenn, these credit card contracts, now they're 30 pages long, some of them. I said, oh, that's great. Well, people can't understand that. So wait a minute. What you're saying is we're going to reform and cut down on the 30-page contracts by introducing a 2,400-page bill that nobody reads. How is that going to help anything? That's not going to reduce the... Please don't start with me on the... Are you people reporters? Or are you... Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. What is that? Yeah, we got to get those things down. I said to somebody the other day, they asked, Glenn, do you think the American people would accept some sort of immigration reform at this point? I said, if you can write it down in 30 pages, yeah, maybe. Maybe.
That's about the length of the Arizona bill. It's about 30 pages.
You can do it in 30 pages, maybe. Arizona, you should be ashamed of yourself. That took you 30 pages to write? That should be one. I'm serious. One. If you can't get something done in 30 pages now in Washington, D.C., don't even bring it to me. Don't even bring it to the American people. Don't bring it. If you can't get it done, you're hiding something. Period. The Constitution was on 4 pages. I think that would be one of my first things is if I was running for president of the United States. I'm not going to sign anything over 30 pages. I'm not even going to read it.
It should be fine because you just wouldn't sign anything. And
that's right.
It'd be great.
It'd be great. No, not going to do that one. No. You know what? I'm going to read that one tonight. I tell you, I'm going to read that one tonight. Not. Top companies are dropping health care coverage. That is so weird. Who would have, besides you and me and almost everybody else that's within the sound of my voice, who would have seen that coming?
Besides that?
Yeah.
The U.S. government, the Health and Human Services Department.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, they had a report that Kathleen Sebelius sat on for, I think it was 3 weeks or a month until after the vote that came out and said all of these things. Oh, yeah, costs are probably going to go up. They're going to skyrocket. Many, many hospitals probably close. A lot of people will lose their insurance because their health care provider will drop the coverage. The big companies will probably get rid of their health insurance.
Hold it just a second.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that the government did something underhanded?
No.
No,
what I think happened was they came up with a report,
mm-hmm.
and then you know how paperwork is. It
just piles up.
Just piles up.
Just piles up.
And I'm sure that they didn't find it until 2 or 3 days after the vote.
That's an outrage. Where's the press on this one? Where's the press on this one? Can I tell you something? At some point, the press needs to be held responsible. At some point, the press needs to be judged. Judged. Where are you? You're supposed to be a guardian. Well, then again, so are we, I guess. And where have we been? Where have the American people been up until now? We were supposed to be a guardian, and we were asleep as well. But these guys now, there's no excuse for these guys now. There's no excuse for anybody except self-imposed ignorance. I don't understand it. Pay for all of the government employees. For instance, you're killing the private sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the private sector is the one that's selling stuff, making stuff, growing the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Then those people you tax and you give it to the government, and then they take those tax dollars and pay the employees.
Uh-huh. I don't know what you're not understanding here.
I'm trying to figure out how that system works when everybody's working for the government and we're not really building anything anymore.
What do you pay people who are working for the government? You pay them
tax dollars.
Tax dollars are one of the type of dollars you can pay them. You can also print it two different types: printed dollars and borrowed dollars, and those dollars are just as effective in paying government employees.
You know what? You're right. I forgot about the printed and borrowed dollars. That's fantastic.
And think of how many people. How many people are going to need to run the printing presses to get those dollars to pay the government employees? That's even creating more jobs.
Let me ask you: when the banks failed, how much currency did we have out? How much currency, how much U.S. currency did we actually have printed and out in circulation? Do you know?
I don't think so.
The money supply.
I'm going to say...
You don't even know. I mean,
I
it's
no
I didn't
idea.
know it either.
I mean, I don't even...
Yeah.
20 trillion.
Yeah, no. $800 million.
That's it?
That's it. $800 million. Okay, now that was a lot.
800 million?
$800 million is all we had in circulation in the entire world. $800 million. Okay?
That's stunning to me.
Yeah, well, that's all we had. Everything else is electronic.
Wow.
Now, they have electronically added money. But currency, actual currency, at the time the banks collapsed, it was $800 million, and that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it is $2.8 trillion. We have more than tripled the money supply. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, when they said we have to bail out the banks, where'd they get the money? We keep thinking we got it from China. No. Your $10 that you had in your pocket is now, once inflation kicks in, is now worth about $6. Now, if the government would have said to you, hey, everybody, I need $4 out of every 10 that you have, you would have said absolutely no. They couldn't have made the case. How about the poor people? How about the hardworking people? This isn't from the rich. This is from everybody. How about the truck driver? Hey, I need $4 out of every 10 from you. That's what inflation means. When they print this money, that's what it means. They are taking the money through printing or digitization. They're taking that money from you, your bank account, your wallet, without taxation. They're taking it and giving it to the uber wealthy, the people like Goldman Sachs, George Soros, Al Gore, and Crime Inc.
This is the Glenn Beck Program. Glenn Beck.
All right. By the way, I want to correct. This is why Pat looked at me so strangely when I said 800 billion in currency, $800 billion in currency. That's why I said it was. They've more than tripled the money supply. It is 800 billion. But you know what the problem is? Does billion, trillion, million, does it mean anything to anybody anymore?
No, that's why I said 20 trillion. I mean, it could be anything now. I mean, it could be any number. We've lost all concept, I think, of what any of it means.
Don't worry, though. That mistake between million and billion doesn't cause any problems if you look at the market yesterday.
I don't believe that.
No,
I do
don't
not
either.
believe that.
It does not seem pop.
Listen. Are you telling me that, A, our market is so fragile that some Yahoo could push...
With a fat finger.
Could push...
No, I don't believe that.
Is our system that fragile that somebody with a fat finger... Okay.
Almost destroyed the market?
Right. So if that's true, which I don't think it is, but if that's true, then let's take a moment and admire the skinny fingers that have been around this market for so long. Let's admire the fact that there has been no human error of this kind ever before. Wow.
Unless it was a fat finger back in 1929 that brought down the whole thing in the first place.
It could be.
Possible.
Of course, they didn't have They didn't have computers back then.
No, well, that's true.
So, had to be a fat face. Billion!
You mean
million?
Million?
Oh, sorry. I don't know the
billion?
difference between million, billion, and trillion. It's all a number to me again. It could have been me. It could have been me. There's no. It could have been me. It could have been me. There's no way that's true. And it's coincidentally happening when the entire world is melting down because of Greece? Yeah, no, I know. No, it's serious.